Welcome back to Bull Sessions here on 680 KFEQ. Here's your hosts, Randy Baker and agronomist Brad Law.
Okay, welcome back to more Bull Sessions. I was a little rusty getting out on that last go-round, but Miles fixed it. So,
Randy, it's bad. Are you sure that's pure coffee in your cup? Do we need to sample that for Bailey's or something?
No, that's all coffee. There might be a little MLS mineral trace minerals in there in that coffee. But
I would
outside
expect
of that,
if you were using MLS, you'd have higher performance, and you're having lower performance.
So maybe I don't have any of that.
I think you've got some knockoff stuff in there.
We make no claims on anything.
No claims.
Yeah. Disclaimer. Yeah.
Hey, Randy, do you have a lady in ag for us?
I got my lady in ag this week. I do. Her name this week, our lady in ag, is Gennet Osweller of Clarksdale, Missouri. Gennet, I want to say Jeanette, and I talked to her, and she says Gennet. So, Gennet, if I mess up, I apologize.
Get used to it.
Yeah. You're good. You're good, Bradley. She's employed by the American Angus Association right here in St. Joseph.
All right.
Gennet is a director of commercial programs, one being Angus Source. That's a USD program that helps people receive money on feeder calves and replacement heifers out of registered bulls. She said she'll do 60 to 70,000 calves each year.
That's a lot of cattle.
That's a lot of cattle. That's a lot of cattle to sell mineral tubs to, huh, Jeff?
That's a lot of cattle.
That would work. They got GMAX and GMAX Focus is a program there that involves DNA testing on commercial cattle and genomic profiles on calves. Gennet and her brother Todd Osweller, Clarksdale. I've known Todd for a long time. A lot of people out there I know Todd. Mm-hmm. Both of them together have cattle operation, and they have row crop as well.
All right.
So she's big into the family farm. As we've talked before, family farming is truly a gift from God where everybody can come back to the farm and keep going. Hats off, thumbs up for Gennet Osweller and her family, the American Angus Association. We thank all of you for doing what you do. Thank you, Gennet.
Now, you have a family-owned livestock supplement company here in studio. Mm-hmm. I caught that earlier, and I thought that's pretty cool, too.
No, I didn't know that. It's a family-owned
You bet. It's
organization.
Family-owned.
We are very big on that because Willcross Seed is family-owned, too.
That's where I was headed. Thank you, Randy.
I'm sorry. Did I steal that from you, Bradley?
You stole my thunder. Hey, and I'm going to pick where we're headed next because we were talking a little bit about flies.
This is dangerous.
Okay. When you hang out with Randy, you notice how flies circle a lot.
I've noticed that in here.
You've noticed that in there.
I have. So.
Okay. Well, you've talked about this Alticid stuff. If I'm murdering the pronunciation of it,
say it again. What
Alticid.
was that? Is that an acid you take?
No, but it deals with it's IGR, which is insect growth regulator for everybody at home and for Randy.
Okay.
And it's kind of neat because I've seen this before, but you put it out actually early. So maybe Jeff could explain more. How do you properly we talk about planning for weed management in our crops. How can we plan for fly management using your mineral tubs?
Well, the Alticid IGR, you want to get it out. What they tell you is 30 days before the last frost to 30 days after the first frost. So typically in this area, middle of March to middle of November, and you're going to be good. And what it is, it's a feed through fly control. Gets the horn flies, controls the horn flies. And how it actually works is there's different stages when that fly lays the egg in the manure. Mm-hmm. It's got to lay the egg in manure that's less than 5 minutes old before it gets that crust on there.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
So they'll lay the egg in there, and what the IGR does, what the Alticid IGR does, is it messes with the mind of the pupa and the larva, and the egg gets into the pupa stage and then goes into the larva stage and thinks that it's hatched and is feeding and reproducing and everything, and then it never gets out of that larva stage. So
wow.
So there's never been a case of resistance to it because there's no adult flies like you can get with fly tags and some of the back rubber stuff and things like that. There's never been a case of resistance to it. They're actually seeing on some producers' places that have used it for a long time, they're actually seeing the dung beetles come back.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, and which, we haven't had those around for a long time. So it's a really great product. We started using it. I've been with the company for 15 years, and we started using it pretty much exclusively the first year that I came on with the company. We've just seen it grow and grow, and there's no residual fish kill like you can get sometimes with some of the other fly control products that are out there, that are feed-through stuff because they'll leach out of the manure and things like that. And so it's just a super great product. So,
wow.
And does it add much cost to a tub, or?
It adds on like our number one tub, which is a third to half pound consumption. It adds $8 to the cost of the tub, and when you break it down per day, it's a penny. It adds a penny a day to it. So you're looking at 16 to 22 cents per head per day. So you're jumping that to 17 to 23 cents per head per day. And they're seeing now too that one of the leading causes of mastitis in cows is horn flies.
Yeah.
And so we can control those, and so where we're not, you've got a cow that's milking on all of her quarters and she's going to raise you a better calf. And so it doesn't take much to pay for that penny per day.
Well, I mean, you can relate to it personally. If you're out and you see, the back of a cow covered in flies and up underneath on the sides,
you bet.
She can't be comfortable.
No, she's not. And a horn fly is a blood feeder. So they're taking blood meals from her. So it's elevating her temperature. The cattle are going to bunch up. I can remember I was going up to Maryville one time in August, and right there at the Pumpkin Center Junction.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was two pastures of cows, one on the southeast corner and one on the northwest corner. And this was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon in August, and it's real pleasant then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The cows in the southeast corner were spread out grazing in the pasture. The ones on the northwest corner were bunched up in a corner fighting flies. And which one's making you money?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Well, we got to get them cattle out there grazing to get more pounds on our calves, get the cows produces more milk, and a little bit of planning now can hopefully help us later on in the summer. 'Cause it gets warm in July even.
Right. The Alticid IGR has just been a really great product for us. And the company that makes the Alticid IGR, Central Life Sciences, is the same company that does the Clarifly product that we're offering in the horse tubs now.
So that's cool.
So we've worked with them for several years. They're good about working with us, good about support with us, coming and doing meetings and things like that. So
now, if a person, let's say, they do the Alticid and the mineral, is it okay to go ahead and we take some of my buckets from my bucket list and we put some corn out for our cattle one evening, and we see if there's still some flies out there, is it okay to go ahead and spray the cattle too?
You bet you sure can, because what the IGR gets is only the horse fly or the horn fly rather. So you're going to have, you're still going to have some face flies. You're going to have some stable flies, some things like that.
This is part of a pest management plan that we can use for the horn flies, and that relieves some pressure there, and then we can work on these other flies another way. And
you betcha, because the horn fly, the thing about a horn fly, and like you talked about walking out there and seeing horn flies along the back of a cow. Well, if you got them up in the chute and you run your hand along the back of that cow, that horn fly goes straight up and comes straight back down because they're not a strong flyer. Mm-hmm. So if you're feeding Alticid IGR and your neighbor's not, you really don't have anything to worry about, because that horn fly can't fly very well. So it's not like a house fly or a stable fly that'll fly up to 3 to 4 miles. Mm-hmm. A horn fly will fly a couple hundred feet, maybe.
Is that them little small?
Yeah, they're a little small.
Yeah,
little small fly. Yeah,
cluster up on there. Yeah,
you bet. And one thing about it, how you can kind of tell if you've got a horn fly infestation on your cows, is they'll be feeding up. They're the only fly that feeds upside down. So it looked like you got on the side of your cow. It looked like you got a bunch of little V's there. So
and they're upside down.
They're upside down. Yeah.
I'll be darned. Did you know that, Bradley?
No, flies and insects are something that there's so many of them. You've got to figure out what's bothering you and identify it then. And then once you have a problem with it, you learn about it. And then if you don't have that problem, you kind of forget about them.
Sure.
So,
you bet.
But
that's cool to know, though.
It is.
I mean, flies is a big deal. You was talking
It
about
is.
you got the mineral tubs for other things. Have they also got that in there? Or
No, we don't have it. It's not cleared through the government yet for going into anything else. So, and
Just
then
cattle.
primarily, like in a sheep pellet or a goat pellet, they can't really lay an egg in that. So, primarily just the horn flies, and then onto the horse side.
so just cattle only, pretty much. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I get it.
Now,
Go ahead.
Do we tweak are there different types of tubs for different times of the year, or is one tub kind of a go-to for a year round?
Our number one tub, the number one Supplelix tub, it's an 18% protein tub. It's kind of around in this area. That's what a lot of guys feed all year long, because we've got primarily fescue pasture. It was designed as a fescue tub. It's going to get the complete vitamin mineral supplement to it. In calving season, we'll add the Selmanax to it as an additive, and then we turn right around and add the IGR to it, the Alpha Sid to it. And so you can go with it all year long. It's going to get you taken care of pretty good on the mag. It's going to get your mag levels elevated if you're on it, all year long, using it as a complete supplementation deal.
So it's a pretty simple program.
It's a pretty simple program.
It's not, I need this color at this time of year, and
Nope.
you just give me the tub, and if I buy a pallet of them or whatever, I can.
Right.
You can stock up and you can be good to go.
The only difference in them is our fly tubs are a tan tub, and our regular tubs, the ones without, are a black tub. That's just one of the government deals.
So you can tell pretty simple. Okay,
Yeah.
I need to put tan or black's
I
pretty
got to
simple.
shut us down again for a minute. Sorry about that, guys, but we're going to talk more. When we come back, we're going to have Focus on the Farmer, more with Jeff and Bradley and Miles and Randy on Bull Sessions 680 KFEQ.